All right. Good morning, everyone. I think we'll give a few more brief seconds to see if anyone logs on right at 11, and we'll get started in a few seconds. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Pretty 11 o'clock on the dot. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Woodhouse, and I am a Community Outreach Coordinator here at Homes for Our Troops. Welcome to our virtual community kickoff for Army Specialist Elliott Smith. We'll be starting our event today with a short video of Elliott when he first joined our program.
My name is Army Specialist Elliott Smith. I was crushed by a heavy combat vehicle while serving in Iraq, which resulted in the loss of my right leg. I had gotten out of high school and I started in the workforce. I didn't really want to go to college, and the 9/11 happened. My grandfather was one of the first UDT frogmen. My other grandfather served in Midway and Guadalcanal. And I think me joining the military was just a culmination of all of that. And when I joined, after maybe the second or third week of basic training, I realized I was right where I was supposed to be. I loved it. I was in it 110%. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on the guy to my left and my right, and that they're focused on me. And there comes this bond and this brotherhood that even to this day can't be broken. It was Mother's Day of 2005. I was on a checkpoint. There was a convoy of trucks coming out of our gate in Iraq at that time. If a convoy stopped, that's just like a target for a mortar attack from the bad guys, because if they hit one truck, it could blow up 3 other trucks. So all I knew to do was clear this checkpoint now, to open it up, let these guys come through. And I ran through like a maze of concrete walls. I find myself cornered in this 90-degree corner with an enormous heavy equipment truck. So I went to jump, and of course the trailer and a part of the tank caught my pants and my foot and just ran into the wall with me in between and grinded it right off. The first couple of years to 3 years after I got hurt, I lost it. I really lost it. I pushed everybody away. I finally found something that I felt like I belonged in, and now it was just gone. The alcohol and the painkillers became so much more powerful than me. I basically realized if I don't do something, I'm gonna die. And so I moved to Pensacola. I went and got help there, and I stayed. And that's been since 2009. And I love it there. It's like my second home. I've been able to rebuild myself. I've been able to rebuild my life. I've just immersed myself into the veteran community and the recovering addict community, and I have like a huge family there now. I ended up following a Buddhist monk around the world for about 2 years, who was also a Vietnam veteran, and I learned a lot about how to just sit still with how I'm feeling, and just sit still with reactions, and not just act on my first impulse, or not just act on the anger that was inside of me and the confusion about the war and about how it had changed me, but rather find a way to live with all of that in a way that wasn't destructive to myself or somebody else. And the only way that I've found to do that is to give back. That's the only way that I can use my past for a better future for someone else. The place that we just moved into, you walk up to it and it's like 7 stairs to get to the front door. The hallways are constricted, very constricted. So if there are times I need to be in my wheelchair, there's no wheeling around the house. And there's really no words to express how big of a blessing homes for our troops would be. I would look forward to, wider doors, wider hallways, less corners. I also look forward to, automatic doors. On those days where I have to be in a wheelchair on crutches coming out of my car just to have a button to push to open my door, it would be phenomenal. One of my favorite features as well is the American flag in the front yard. To be reminded every morning to put it up and reminded every night to take it down, and just that for me keeps me connected to where I come from. It keeps me connected to my other veteran buddies, my brothers to my left and my right, my brothers and sisters. I want to be an orthotist and prosthetist, build legs for children, maybe, or just really anyone who ends up with an amputation or physical disability that I can build their equipment for. And, as a full-time student, keeping up with bills and keeping up with the house, it takes so much out of you. And I would rather be more involved in my community, giving back and being part of community events and community outreach. So having a home built by Homes for Our Troops would free my time up to be able to do things like that, to be able to invite other veterans who have disabilities to my house and even have my house accessible to them. Homes for Our Troops is like a family.
All right. Joining us today is Army Specialist Elliott Smith. Give a little hello. He will be speaking later on in our program today, so we'll get a chance to hear from Elliott later on. So due to COVID-19, we are unable to hold our traditional community kickoff events that we usually do in person on the ground in our new communities. However, we've definitely been fortunate enough as a company to continue our mission of building homes and rebuilding lives. It's a difficult time right now, and we're still finding a way to get our veterans into their houses and be comfortable and safe. So I first want to start off by thanking all of our active and retired soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen. I'd also like to thank any Blue and Gold Star families that are here with us today, and in general over the life. Little bit about Homes for Our Troops. Our mission is to build and donate specially adapted custom homes to severely injured post 9/11 veterans across the nation. Since we build across the nation, we have been in 42 different states. And since 2004, when we were founded, we have built over 295 homes. It's pretty amazing, and we're getting close to our 300th. We are a highly rated military nonprofit with Charity Navigator, GuideStar, and Charity Watch. And I am extremely happy and proud to say that nearly 90 cents of every dollar that we spend since our inception has gone towards our programs of building homes. We're not federally funded. We're not that kind of organization. So we rely on the support of generous donors to financially support our mission. One of those ways, usually during a traditional kickoff, we have some hats to give away, but one of those ways is joining our monthly giving program called Operation Lasting Support, or OLS. If you have any questions about how to sign up, you can send me an email at kwoodhouse@hfotusa.org, or you can go on our website at hfotusa.org and click on that link. Really helps us support our mission and helps us continue to rebuild these homes. Like Elliott, and we have another veteran joining us today, our programs allows our veterans to choose where they want to live across the US. So Elliott has specifically chosen Pensacola to call his home. And I would like to thank any of the community that is supporting us today and Elliott as he moves into his new house and gets to call Pensacola home for quite a while. One local company that is supporting us is Trueland Homes, who is our contractor. They are building the house, and we want to thank you for your commitment to building the specially adapted custom home for Elliott. We do have some speakers joining us today from across the nation. We're all a little all over the place. I first would like to introduce Brad Israel, who is the Chief Leadership Officer from 68 Ventures.
Good morning, and I hope everyone can hear me okay. Really appreciate you having me on today. My name is Brad Israel. I'm the Chief Leadership Officer for 68 Ventures, but also for Truland Homes, which is really the catalyst behind this noble endeavor. And on behalf of our new division president in Pensacola, Wesley Ryder, who's just an outstanding leader for our company and is someone that's risen through the ranks to take over in Pensacola. Charles Shetter, our CEO, who's brilliantly focused on becoming the enduring private builder along the Gulf Coast. And Nathan Cox, our founder and chairman, who's also a veteran and is one of my best friends, a true visionary for transforming our communities and always leading with care, with compassion for our teams. He's just got a heart of gold when it comes to stewardship initiatives, especially things like serving our veteran community. And when Nathan started Truland Homes, he wanted to honor our purpose statement, which is to see all we can do with all we've been given. And always being true to our core values and serving others is at the top of that list. And this means finding stewardship initiatives that truly matter. We look for ways to serve, especially our veterans, as I said. We're a company made up of veterans, spouses of veterans, family members, and those that have a desire to become more and impact the lives of all those that we interact with, especially in the communities that we live in. This story, it's about the power of relationships, because I had the privilege to meet Elliott back in 2017. Hard to believe it's been that long ago. Speaking at a fundraiser for Homes for Our Troops. And the executive director, Bill Ivey, had flown in for it as well. And we had a fantastic evening together over in Spanish Fort, Alabama at the USS Alabama. And Elliott he's got to overcome challenges every single day in his life. And I know we got to watch his video and we'll get to hear more of his story and what he's doing. But these are challenges that so many of us never think of. And it's not because you're insensitive to it or you're a bad person. It's just not something that affects you. And everybody's got something that they're going through. And for Elliott, in his service and his sacrifice, this is something that affects him every single day. And he made the choice to be a warrior. And he has chosen to rise above his circumstances. And that's what he wants to do now, is he's committed to giving back, and he's committed to serving his brothers and sisters in need of support and encouragement, just like he was. And he's able to tell his story to inspire them to do the same thing so that they can go define their legacy like he's doing. So after meeting with Bill, and who's also a fellow Ranger, I knew there was alignment in how we wanted to serve our veteran communities, partnering with people that do purposeful work and subscribe to the same set of values and beliefs, which makes it fun, which makes it fulfilling, which it lets everybody enjoy this journey together. So we're honored to be a part of this. We look forward to sharing the development of Elliott's new beautiful home alongside Homes for Our Troops. And our team looks forward to participating in any service days and doing whatever we can to make this a remarkable experience. An enormous debt of gratitude goes to our Truland Homes division in Pensacola specifically, as well as to the company at large, because they'll be at the forefront of this every step of the way. So Elliott, welcome to the Truland Homes family alongside the Homes for Our Troops family. We're very proud of you, brother. We look forward to getting to know you better, and let's have some fun and let's make this a fantastic experience. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Brad. It's great having you on today. Next, I would like to introduce our HFOT Board Ambassador, General Rick Lynch.
Hey folks, it's a true privilege for me to be here, and Brad, I got to tell you, well said. Perfect the way you laid that out. Well done. I had the privilege of serving the Army for 35 years. I did command a division in combat in Iraq, the 3rd Division. I did command the 3rd Corps. I had the privilege of serving in Iraq on multiple occasions, much like my best friend, Bill Ivey. But the most important thing I do these days is to be an ambassador for Homes for Our Troops. So thanks are in order. I mean, Brad just said it well. It's phenomenal what that organization is doing even during these difficult times. I mean, I spend a lot of time with corporate America, and a lot of corporate America just threw up their hands during this pandemic and says, what are we going to do? Not homes for our troops. They just charged on. And oh, by the way, we didn't want to miss important events like these dedications, so we're just taking advantage of the technology. We'd all prefer to be together. We'd all prefer to be hugging one another and enjoying the house, but we can't do that, so we're making the best we can. So Homes for Our Troops is phenomenal. Bill Libby is my best friend, Tom Lindemeyer. They're just great people. And as Kelsey said, it's almost 300 homes, but there's a whole lot more that needs to be done. And the reason I like to be an ambassador for Homes for Our Troops, it lets me hang out with American heroes like Elliott Smith. Now, sir, I saw your video. I don't know you, but I know lots of people like you. You know, we are a nation at risk. We got external threats like Russia and North Korea and Iran and ISIS. Unfortunately, we got internal threats like domestic terrorism. We're seeing that every day on our streets here in America. Lack of respect for law enforcement personnel, divisive people. So if we don't have people step up to the plate to say, put me in, coach, I'll be in the military, our nation will falter. I mean, people think that the freedom is guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. It's going to go away if people don't step up to the plate. So that's what Elliott did, you know, come out of high school, as you said, entered the workforce. 9/11 happened. He said, hey, put me in, coach. A lot of people didn't, by the way. A lot of people just put down the TV remote and went back to college, went back to work, whatever they did. But he said, put me in, coach. And he went into dangerous places like Iraq. And oh, by the way, it doesn't matter if you were wounded by an enemy mortar round or an enemy bullet or wounded by a catastrophic event inside of Iraq, you're an American hero. So what Elliott talked about is what we dealt with all the time. You got to keep the checkpoints clear. You got to have people like Special Smith clearing those damn checkpoints. And oh, by the way, it is heavy equipment and there are concrete barriers and sometimes, unfortunately, soldiers get hurt. But I got to tell you, Elliott, you're an inspiration. I mean, you got hurt. I got that. And you got evacuated and you went to Walter Reed and you went to Intrepid Spirit Center and you continued to improve. But then you were devastated with post-traumatic stress and alcohol addiction and drug addiction, but you didn't give up. I mean, we do have 22 veterans a day killing themselves, but you didn't. You didn't give up. You said, I'm going to fix this. And you went and you got help. And now, by the way, you're saying, I'm glad I got help, but I want to share that with others. My favorite book is a book entitled Living a Life That God Rewards. And that's exactly what you're doing now. You're dedicating the rest of your life to helping people, both young and old. And it's phenomenal. So, Elliott, I just got to tell you, I'm humbled to be in your presence. You're an American hero. You marched to the sound of the guns. You got significantly wounded in combat. You came back. You picked yourself up and said, by God, I'm going to make a difference in people's lives. And that's what you're doing. So on this, I'll end with this. You know, thanks to Homes for Our Troops. You guys are phenomenal. Bill Ivey, you know how much I love you and I appreciate you. And Specialist Smith, you're an American hero. And I'm humbled today in your presence, being in your presence. And I hope someday I get to put my arms around you and give you a hug and thank you personally for what you did. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, General Lynch. Our next speaker received his specially adapted home on August 3rd of last year, 2019, in Harrisville, Pennsylvania, and also attended our veteran conference with Elliott Smith. So it's my honor to welcome Navy PO3, Justin Hendrickson, and his wife, Jenny.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to say, Elliott, you're in for a treat. I didn't realize our home was going to positively impact us basically in every way imaginable within the past year. Our home, as far as medically, being an amputee myself, I've went through some prosthetics issues, some limb changes, and having a home where you can get into the house after a day of work or doing school or what you're doing and get into your wheelchair, give your limb a break and actually be able to still be productive around the house. That's great, especially once you get married and, you know, you can help out the missus. You know, it just allows you to heal quicker. You know, my limbs heal quicker because I've been able to get out of my prosthetic, where my old house, I would still be in it, be stubborn about doing stuff, you know, opening those wounds and things like that. As far as financially. It's a huge burden that's off your shoulders. When COVID-19 came around, I work as a nurse, but I work in orthopedic med surg floor. So we shut down our unit because we weren't doing elective surgeries. So I wasn't working as much. But not having that mortgage, I didn't have to worry about it, which was a huge stress relief off of our family. You know, and it actually got me into thinking other things and doing other stuff, more productive. Not throwing a business pitch, but I'm actually starting a business. And that really came from taking time off of work and getting out of the normal everyday thing, which we're excited about. Other things about the house, everything about it's been wonderful. Homes for Our Troops, you guys have been wonderful. We've had a couple things with the house that we needed addressed. You guys were spot on it, took care of it, no questions asked. You've been wonderful the whole way through. And then, you know, with our story, my wife does have brain cancer. So in the future, she's in remission. She's been in remission. But if something would ever pop up again, this house is a huge positive impact as far as being able to take care of one another. So you have a lot of like amazing things to look forward to. And we just want to thank Homes for Our Troops, the donors, the sponsors, everybody who's provided this opportunity, because it's been simply life-changing for us. So thank you.
Congratulations, Elliott. You're going to absolutely love your home.
Yeah, you're going to love it, Elliott.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin and Jenny. It's good to hear from you guys. I would like to turn over our ceremony at this point to the Homes for Our Troops Executive Director, Bill Ivey.
Morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I appreciate you all joining us this morning. As Rick and Kelsey have pointed out, we've had to make a few adaptations because of the COVID-19 situation. But one of the advantages of that is we can get folks that are not necessarily co-located in Pensacola out to these events. So we've got opportunity for folks to tune in and participate. Justin, Jenny, really appreciate you zooming in, and it was probably a lot less of a hassle than flying from Pennsylvania down to Pensacola to do this. So we really appreciate that and bringing everybody out this morning. Want to also thank all of our donors and supporters out there, our fundraisers. Carol, I see you up down there. Thank you so much for all the fundraising you've done for us over the past decade, and we're looking forward to getting going again next year. As you all can imagine, a lot of our fundraisers either had to go virtual or get postponed because of COVID-19, and that's just an adaptation we have to make to drive on. But as General Lynch said, we are moving forward, and we're continuing to build homes and get our veterans into those homes so they can get on with rebuilding their lives. Thanks to all of our speakers coming out. Brad, good to see you again. Rick, it's always great to see you. I'm looking forward to doing that in person one of these days out there in Texas, and getting everybody out. And of course, Jenny and Justin, thank you so much for zooming in. It's good to hear things are going well up there and that the home is doing everything that we thought we'd be able to do to help you all continue on as you rebuild your lives. Cheryl, good to see you. Got an HFOD alum out there coming in from Texas, so it's always good to see you and appreciate all the support you continue to give us. And I want to thank someone who usually doesn't get a lot of thanks, and that's the person who put this all together. Kelsey, thank you for all the great work and coordination you did, and rising to overcome all of the additional challenges that take place when you're coordinating stuff long distance and via Zoom and via telephone, via computer. So many thanks to you and your wingmen, Q and Mel there, and the whole crew back at Homes for Our Troops that are making this work. And of course, all the people make the IT magic work, because as a number of folks know, I'm an infantry guy and technology ain't my thing. You know, rifles got all the moving parts I need, and I try not to get much more complicated than that. Bayonet's probably the best tool I can use because it doesn't have any moving parts. It's very simple. I also want to thank all the veterans out there, and of course all of our H5 veterans, and for any Vietnam veterans we've got tuned in, a special thanks to you all, because our country did not do right by you when you came back. And it is the quiet professionalism and your solemn commitment not to let that happen again, which is why this country is doing the right thing in this war, and taking care of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and coasties coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and treating them with the respect they deserve. So thank you for leading the way and setting the example so this country could make a correction and do the right thing. Take a few minutes here to talk about Homes for Our Troops. It might be a recap for some of you. It might be new for some of you. Homes for Our Troops is a nonprofit, but what we do is not charity. We don't consider this a charity work. We consider this our moral obligation to help the American people repay the debt that we owe these men and women who have been so badly injured defending our freedom and independence in Iraq and Afghanistan. So although we're a legitimate nonprofit, this is not charity. This is repaying a debt. And we see ourselves as a vehicle to help you all do that, help the American people do that. We think by building a specially adapted, custom-built home where a veteran wants to live is a good step forward to our real main mission, which is helping these men and women rebuild their lives. So our tagline is building homes, rebuilding lives. And the really important thing that we try to do at Homes for Our Troops is stay in contact with our veterans, assist them, link them up with the resources they need to overcome whatever challenges they encounter, and help them get on with rebuilding their lives, because that's what it's all about. It's the degrees, it's the jobs, it's the families, it's the nonprofit work. It's doing whatever our veterans want to do to get back into the swing of things and moving forward as they recover from their injuries. As Kelsey mentioned, we've built over 295 homes in 42 states since we started. But as Rick mentioned, we still have a lot of work to do. We have 76 active projects right now. 58 of those are in the permitting and construction. We'll finish up 2 of them next week. We've got some we're just starting the permitting process. We've got 18 more veterans that we're looking for land around the country. So we still have a lot of work to do, and we're moving forward. In the state of Florida, where Elliott has chosen to live, we've completed 20 homes, and we have 12 projects there. 10 of those are in permitting or construction, and 2 are in the land search. In fact, just an hour ago, we kicked off a home in Land O'Lakes for another Army veteran who was severely injured. So we got 2 of them starting today in the great state of Florida, but in 2 different time zones in the great state of Florida. So that's what happens when you're a large state or a long state, depending on how you look at it, I guess. So what's the impact of what we do? You know, we can talk about homes, we can talk about projects, but the real impact for us is what do our veterans do once they get the opportunity to move into a specially adapted home. 2 years ago, we did a survey of our veterans, sort of a before and after type of survey, to try to capture what their life was like before they moved into their home and what their life is like now. Prior to moving into an adapted home, only 12% of our veterans were able to attend college or complete a degree or complete a trade certification because of the challenges they had with mobility and other challenges not living in an adapted place. After moving into Homes for Our Troops home, 69% of our veterans have been able to attend college, complete a degree, or get a trade certificate. So again, it's moving these guys and gals forward, giving them the opportunity to better themselves. What really jumped out at me, though, when we looked at the survey results, is the number for the spouses and caregivers prior to moving into an adapted home was 8%. That jumped to 90% after they moved into the home, because the spouses and the caregivers no longer had to spend so much time taking care of their veteran, because the veteran could take care of himself or herself. Everything's accessible. So it not only restores, the homes not only restore freedom and independence to our veterans, restore some freedom and independence to our veteran spouses, families, and caregivers. Employment for our veterans went up by 67% after they moved into the homes. For the spouses and caregivers, it went up by over 300%. So again, the whole approach is assisting the veteran and his or her family to get back into the swing of things, rebuild their lives, move forward, and do the things that they need to do. So how can you help Homes for Our Troops? I always tell folks there's 3 things you can do to help Homes for Our Troops. Number 1 is welcome Elliott into the community there in Pensacola or wherever you live. If a Homes for Our Troops veteran is moving in, wrap your arms around them and welcome that veteran and his or her family to your community, because that is absolutely key in our mind to our veterans moving forward and getting onward with rebuilding their lives. The second thing you can do for us is tell people we exist. As Kelsey mentioned, we work very hard to keep nearly 90 cents of every dollar that we spend going to the mission of buying land, building homes, and assisting our veterans with rebuilding their lives. When you do the math, that does not leave a lot of money for marketing or for advertising. So we rely on you all, we rely on the American people to get the word out. And we understand that word of mouth is probably not what they teach you in marketing school about getting the word out about your business, but we think it's the right way to get the word out, because we want to be able to look our donors and our fundraisers and our supporters in the eye and say, of that $100 you just donated, or that $1,000 you just donated, 88, 89, 90 cents of every dollar we're going to spend to that is going to the mission where you thought it was going to go. So you can help us out tremendously by talking about us to family, friends, church, neighborhood, work, social media, getting the word out by word of mouth. And we know that's a slow way to grow, but we think it's the right way to grow, and we owe it to our donors and our supporters to do it the right way. And of course, the third thing you can do for us would be to fundraise or to donate. But I want you to remember the number one thing you can ever do for Homes for Our Troops is welcome our veterans into your community, wrap your arms around them, and help them get going again and rebuilding their lives. And number two is tell folks we exist. Tell folks that we're out there. Tell folks about the great work that we're doing, as you've heard that Justin and Jenny commenting on what the home has meant to them. But you know, it's not about Homes for Our Troops. It's about those soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen that are serving our country. We still have them deployed in Iraq and Syria. We still have them deployed in Afghanistan. We still have special operations forces hunting down bad guys around the world. So there's a lot of young men and women still in harm's way, and unfortunately, we still continue to add to the casualty list. So it's about those men and women. It's about soldiers like Elliott Smith. When I think of trying to sum up Elliott in the 3 years I've known him in a relatively short phrase, the term service to others comes to mind. As you saw in his video, service to others runs in his family. Both of his grandfathers served in World War II. And as General Lynch pointed out, shortly after Elliott graduated from high school, 9/11 happened. And he immediately knew that this was an opportunity for him to serve others. So he enlisted in the Army as an infantryman. And shortly after his enlistment, he deployed to Iraq with the 155th Combat Brigade. And he was attached to the 1st Cav Division, and that's where he was serving in Iraq when he was badly injured. But he did not let that get in the way. And he faced some challenges when he came back, as he mentioned in his video. But he knew that he needed to be able to recover to continue to serve others. And it was that determination to continue to serve others that drove his zeal to make a full recovery, to get things squared away and move forward. He chose to move to Pensacola. So those of you in the Pensacola area should feel lucky that he chose you. He came out of Mississippi, chose Pensacola to get his life going again. He's graduated from the University of Western Florida. And in true Elliott Smith fashion, he spends most of his time with 2 nonprofits serving other veterans, assisting them in getting going again and overcoming the challenges that they face. So I'm going to quit talking and turn this over to a great American. And Elliott, it's so great to see you, even if it's on video. Elliott Smith.
Good to see you too, Bill. And thank you, General Lynch. Thank you, Brad, Justin, and Jenny. Thanks everybody for being here. You know, I really, I've talked in the last few days, you know, getting this whole thing together, and people ask me, you know, how I feel about what's going on, and I really don't know how to feel about it yet. I know it's a huge blessing, and I realize it's going to take a lot of stress off of my plate in a lot of different areas, but what it really means to me right now is, you know, it couldn't have come at a better time. Since, you know, the nomination ceremony and coming up to Boston and having that event with you guys, I've been through a lot of stuff. You know, my mother was sick with cancer, and that was really tough on me. It was really, it was just as hard on me as losing my leg was. I mean, I would have rather have lost my other leg than have lost my mother, you know. So, you know, she just passed away last year, and I'm kind of starting a whole new, you know, brand new chapter in life after that. And so this coming, this house coming at this time is really, it couldn't have been timed any better, because I realize that it's going to give me some space to continue, you know, making my life something meaningful, because that's all I've ever really wanted to do after I served in the military and got hurt and came home, was just to make all the things that I went through and that I've gone through with people beside me, just to make that meaningful, and to make the things that, to make the things that I've gone through in my past something positive. And this can only help me do that. This house from Homes for Our Troops is just, it's just enormous. It's an enormous blessing. And like Bill said, it's not just about the home. It's the fact that you guys are involved in my life, 15 years after the fact. I got injured in 2005, and here we are this far down the road, and I still have all these people beside me, trying to help me, and you guys just supporting me and giving me something like a mortgage-free house, I don't really know how to explain or put into words, what a big deal this is for me. And so, here we are in the midst of this pandemic, and that's another thing I've been worried about the past several months, is where am I going to go from here? I live in a little apartment in Pensacola, which is a nice place, but it's quite expensive. And in places that I live, if you want to live in a nice area in this town, it's going to cost you a pretty good bit of money, and it's only getting more expensive. And for things that have been shut down and economies to be shut down and nothing to be going on, it starts to weigh on you a little bit. Like, you start to look at the future and like, what am I going to do? And so, about 3 months ago, I got a call saying, hey, we're about to start construction on your home. And I was like, wow, this couldn't have come at a better time, So if there was anything that I would stamp on how I feel about this house right now, it's just great timing. So, like I said, I appreciate all of you guys being there for me. And, another thing that I want to do is finish writing a book. And I know that having this house, and having a place out there in the country where it's going to be built nice and quiet, and not having to worry about, how am I going to, pay the next mortgage or the next rent or whatever. It'll help take some stress off of my plate and give me some more room to focus on writing my book. And this is something that my mother, when she found out, that this house was going to be built for me, it was just something that she really wanted to happen. And I know that she's happy, and she knows that this is happening for me now. And so you guys are definitely doing a big, definitely handing a big blessing to my family as well as me. So, all in all, like I said, I just really appreciate you guys, and my family appreciates you too. And so here I am. It's good to be part of the Homes for Our Troops family, and I look forward to see where we go from here. So thank you all again for being here this morning. And that's all I got.
All right. I'll clap for everyone. Thank you, Elliott, so much for joining us today, and everyone else. We really appreciate you joining us for our first 100% virtual event. We had a partial one earlier today, but this has been a great community kickoff for Army Specialist Elliott Smith, and we couldn't do with anything without your support and your help. Just like Bill said, even if it's just welcoming those veterans into your community, that's one of the biggest things you can do. This is pretty much the end of our event today. If you have any information that you want to learn more about or get involved with us or sign up for OLS, I know there's going to be one or two of you that want to sign up for our monthly giving program. You can visit our website at hfotusa.org. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you at a different event. Thank you.